Hello, Edsp 3010. Come along with me as I take you to my former community college, Chaffey College. I will be assessing environmental accessibilities for people with disabilities on this campus. And so, Chaffey College is a campus located in Rancho Cucamonga. Upon entering the campus, we see a directory that shows where the buildings are, the main buildings, and the signs are not in Braille, which that was surprising for me. And here I have my ADA compliance across the campus guide, also my accessibility checklist, and I'm also standing in front of the administration's office. There's tons of stairs, as you can see, and all stairways have handrail, which I think is pretty amazing. However, we are going to head towards the ramps that are accessible here, available for people in wheelchairs. So this is the ramp that you're able to take to get to the administration's office. And the administration's office is located right in front of the parking lot, which is great, which is intentionally located right next to the the wheelchair access parking lot. And so that makes it extremely convenient for people to get around the campus. This campus is very uphill, so it's not quite platform concrete. There's a lot of ramps you have to get through. But here we see that there's an intentional symbol of wheelchair access. And what that means is this administration building consists of a second floor. So along with the main staircase, there's also elevators, working elevators accessible for students and faculty members, staff. And what I also like is all the doors here electronically open. So they're motion censored. As soon as someone's walking by, the doors automatically slide across and open widely, creating such a wide space for students. Here we see non-slip surface, which is great. And here we also see that there is a lot of pathways, a lot of staircases, for sure with handrails, but we are going to take a different route. We are going to take the wheelchair accessible route pathway, so you guys can take a look of what that looks like. So here I'm beginning to notice that this campus is really accessible to people with disabilities. There are also emergency exit plans that assumes the needs of people with disabilities. There are also warning signs, audible alarms, visual alarms in each building in case of an emergency. Here we see the directory, which is a very large visual directory, and we're looking for the Disabilities Program and Services Center. I was a little disappointed to see that this directory is not in Braille. It's not provided in Braille for students who are visually impaired, so that's also an observation that I noticed. As we move forward with our observations relating to ADA accessibility, I also noticed there are water fountains and emergency phone poles at the height that can be reached by a person in a wheelchair. And so there are all over throughout the entire campus. And there are also Braille signs in elevators, on restroom doors, actually in each classroom door, and which helps assist the visually impaired. I did not get a chance to go into the restrooms, but for prior experience, the restroom stalls definitely permit a full 36 rotation of a wheelchair. There's always that one particular stall. Also, there's grab rails surrounding the toilet seat, along with sinks, soap, and paper towel dispensers at the height accessible to a person with wheelchair. And as you can see here, I'm loving all all the intentional symbols of access, and also those intentional not accessible symbols that alert us of what the pathway ahead of us looks like. From prior experience, I do recall tables in common areas such as computer labs, libraries, snack bars. They all have tables accessible at a certain angle so that wheelchairs are able to have the space to get by. Of course, this also includes classroom furnitures. They're arranged so that the aisles are wide enough for students who are blind, visually impaired, or who use wheelchairs or even crutches to get by. So I noticed one thing about the classrooms in this college, particularly, they don't have the tables that are attached to the chairs. The chairs are pretty mobile, so the teacher's able to rearrange the furniture quite easily for safety purposes. Here we're coming across a student's lounge slash cafeteria. This building consists of a second floor, and it does have a working elevator inside the building, along with doors that open electronically, that are is way more accessible. One thing I also noticed about this cafeteria, the tables are set up in a particular way where we see that empty space on each table so that wheelchairs are able to be accommodated and also join the party. This is a very supportive way to get students in wheelchairs to be socially involved in between classroom breaks. These intentional signs are also all over throughout inside the classrooms and buildings. And so students with disabilities are given multiple means of representation, expression, and engagement throughout the curriculum and within the classroom settings as well. And so also, this college offers a disability program services center, which offers amazing resources for students, such as assistive technology available for students with disabilities, special equipped computers available for students who have difficulty in writing papers. Also provides computer softwares that reads the print on screen for students, and also they offer sign language interpreters that pretty much students are able to have in their classroom to interpret the lecture. Here we have the Student Success Center. As you can see, the building number is also in Braille, provided to students who are visually impaired, which is awesome. And actually, every building, every door, each classroom door also has the number in Braille. So this is also great access for students who are visually impaired. And we see here that there's a staircase. However, right next to it, we see the elevator that's also available for students in wheelchairs. And again, all numbers in each classrooms are also in Braille. That's a good observation that I was able to notice all around the campus. I also wanted to highlight how the Disability Program Services Department actually has a policy in place that allows students with learning disabilities extra time for test taking and quiz taking, I believe so. And along with this amazing resource, the DPS department offers individualized rooms that provide solitary and quiet spaces for students who are easily distracted to take their test. So that's a great safe space for these students to also have equal learning opportunities, just like every other college student on campus. Here we see another directory that shows us where all the buildings are, and these directory maps are all over the campus, all over the entire campus, which is great. Overall, this fieldwork has definitely been an eye-opening experience. It has raised my awareness to be more mindful of these accessibilities that are also provided to other students who need that extra accommodation in order to have equal opportunities to learn, just like everyone else. This college campus is really up the hill, so as I was making my way back to the parking lot, it was really nice to see all the pathways that were paved and accessible for wheelchairs. I also noticed that the parking lot ticket dispenser was at a really great, appropriate height, accessible to a person in a wheelchair. And look at all this great wheelchair access parking space that is literally right next to a ramp available for students who prefer taking the ramp instead of the stairway. I also noticed that this campus has a GPS center, which is like the hub of the campus that is offered for students for extra resources. And it's really downhill. And I liked how it also has a working elevator accessible for wheelchair, along with additional parking lot down there with also wheelchair accessibility. I also noticed that some of the sidewalks had like the dent access going on as students travel from one building to as students who are traveling from one building to another makes it easier for them to get around through the sidewalks. And overall, this has been such a learning and reflective experience for me. I really enjoyed this fieldwork activity, and I'm looking forward to learning a lot more in this class.